gentleman has literally been with Christopher since the inception of Xperia, and has been in the industry for many, many years. She's been very successful, not only corporately, but has a very successful business down in Fort Myers, Florida. And he works Xperia, for the most part on a part-time basis. And I know that his goal is to get to a full-time basis here. And I know that just from the effort and the things that have taken place in his business over the last couple of months, he literally is beginning to earn kind of an outrageous full-time income. So, he definitely comes well qualified tonight to talk to us about, what does it take, to be a good leader in your organization, and how important it is to take a leadership role in your business and how that can impact your business. And just a few days ago, Les had sent some emails to me with some notes of some things that he had talked about with his team on this topic, on the role of taking leadership in your business. And it was such good information. I called him and asked him, I said, could you come on tonight and just talk with us tonight a little bit about taking a leadership role? And so, Les, what I'd like you to do, I know for me, having been in the industry for a long time, taking on that role as a leader, for the most part, for a lot of people when they're brand new in a business like this, it really kind of puts them out of their comfort zone. But then there's a lot of things that, if you just do them over and over again, they become comfortable and they become easy, and then you look back and you go, wow, is that all there is to this? But being a leader is so critical to your business. It really is one of the first things that has to happen in your business in order for you to be successful, because although sometimes it seems like people get really lucky in this industry, for the most part, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of commitment, and it takes being a great student of the industry, of which you have definitely spent many years being a great student in this industry. So I just wanted you to cover maybe some of your thoughts behind some of the notes that you sent me, because it was such great information, and I know you've done a call like this already with your team, but if you would just share with us tonight, what kind of inspired you to put this information together.
Well, yeah, thank you, Gloria. You really hit an important point that I've had to realize in my journey. I thought, as a mid-20s corporate hotshot salesman, I thought, well, I'm going to hit a six-figure income in network marketing and just avoid the leadership stuff, and I'll stay off on the sidelines. And it just doesn't work like that. You really have to embrace leadership. And there's been some brilliant observers and authors about the industry we're working, Robert Kiyosaki among them, and he says that, one of the hidden benefits, lifelong gifts that this industry, when you're with the right company, can give you is leadership training. And Mike McCormick said it well last Saturday in Orlando that, we focus on leadership development. And you look around our society today, and I won't get on my stump, but leadership is necessary and needed everywhere, now more than ever today. And it's certainly true in this company, and it's certainly going to be true in your organizations. But the essence of leadership is something I've studied for a couple of decades, and I'm still a student. And you're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotten. So one of the key principles of growing and being a leader is that you never stop learning. There's always something more to learn. There's always a book to read. There's always a seminar to attend. There's a webinar to attend. There's a skill to polish. There's a saw or an axe to sharpen in your portfolio. And it's so important to have that. It's also so critical, Gloria, as you know, to have the vision. Leadership is really about having a vision, even when nobody else sees it or wants to see it or can see it. You must have that big picture to endure the storms. There's no question about it. And the other thing you've got to do is you've got to lead by example. It sounds like a cliche, but it's so important. Leadership's not always popular. You've got to do what's right. It's not always what's popular. It's not always what the majority may want, but you've got to do it. Steve Jobs is, arguably the most influential business person of our time, and with his recent passing, a lot of people, including myself, have started to study some of his leadership training. And the number one advice he has to leaders, guys, the one man who was fired and given up on, told he was never going to make an impact in the industry, literally changed the way that we communicate globally interpersonal communication changed because of this man's vision. His number one advice to leaders, Gloria, don't listen to the dogma of negative people. Pursue your vision unimpeded. So it's so important. And so what I did is with a couple of decades behind me, I hammered out that email over the weekend, and I thank you for putting it in an organized fashion. So maybe there's some nuggets in there that the field can get out of it. But let's take a look at it here. This is just really old stuff.
One of the things you did as well, Les, is that, I liked as well as, you put a challenge out there. When you put these notes together, you said, to your team, over the next 90 days, commit to these things. Let's have a leadership challenge over the next 90 days and see where you are at the end of May. And I thought that was really good, when you kind of prefaced it with that intent.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and we're creating a mastermind group, and Christine has done it up in her neck of the woods up there where we're headed tomorrow. And this is how the city of Chicago was built. This is how some of the biggest corporations in the world have been built. But a mastermind group is putting a leadership challenge together, and I've done that with my team. And it's very, very powerful, folks. And we have what are we marketing? We're marketing XIP 90. We have a 90-day challenge to change somebody's health. And this goes right along with it because there's a mind-body connection. When you start to get your mind, get your body healthier, your mind follows suit, your cognitive function improves. It's really amazing. So I wanted to raise the level of challenge. I wanted to raise the level of bar because I've got some extremely talented people, on this line tonight that are joining this company every day. And so we're beyond 101. And basically this challenge is very powerful. It will improve every area of your life. Number one, this is a principle that's been around for centuries. Nightingale, Conant, the guys that first started self-improvement, the whole industry, they started it. This is the stuff that they talked about. This is the stuff that created change and really a whole genre of self-improvement. We work out in the gym, which we do it with our biceps. You want to be better at chess, you practice chess. You want to be better in your relationships, you practice communication, you practice your listening skills. You want to be a leader. You want to have a mindset of a winner. You want to be able to withstand storms and bumps and speed bumps and not feel them. You want to have the radiant energy to be able to recharge other people's batteries in your organization. You better commit to something like this, folks. We think differently. We walk differently. We have a different posture. Most people are walking around with a scowl on their face, or they're looking down at their shoelaces, not knowing what tomorrow brings. Leaders look up and smile, learn people's names, and use those names. Stop talking about yourself and start talking about other people and use their name. It's been proven time and time again that the sound of someone's name is more magical than all the other names on earth put together. We need to get back to communication and mastering the fundamentals. Do not condemn, criticize, or complain. This is a leadership quality that's extremely difficult. You can train your mind to do it. When a thought becomes a word, it gains power. If you stop it in the thought phase before it comes a word, you will form a habit. 21 days of doing that, you're going to get very, very good at it. Let me just repeat that because it's extremely difficult, but the changes on how you think you feel within hours, days. Do not condemn, criticize, or complain. We live in a negative world. We're surrounded by it. We become part of what we are around. 2/3 of doctors in medical school acquire the symptoms under which they study because they're submerged in it. We become part of what we are around. It's just a matter of fact. Okay? So leaders find a way to get a mastermind group and hang out with other leaders. They find a mentor, find out somebody who has something they want to achieve, and they commit to it. They're not involved in their success. They're committed. Back in Iowa, we had an illustration at the local diners between the difference of being committed and being involved. And I said, well, gee, what are you talking about, Bob? And he says, well, Les, look down at your breakfast plate. You got some eggs and you got some bacon. The chicken was involved. The pig was committed. and making a commitment to your business where it doesn't really matter what somebody tells you about this opportunity. It doesn't really matter if somebody tells you that they didn't find success with the product. None of that matters. It doesn't even faze you. You become bulletproof. The other thing that we do is you start each day with a prayer of thanks. I think it's a very powerful to have an attitude of gratitude, and then at that moment You thank God in advance for protecting you and your family, and you get on your journey with confidence. Fear and worry are the devil's tools. It's negative goal setting. Worry and fear are negative goal setting. Excuses are well-planned lies, and we get really good at it. Oh, if I just had the time, if I could just have the passion like Christy, if I could speak so eloquently like Gloria, if I could get as excited as Les, oh, if I had the posture of Mike McCormick. We make all the excuses in the world. And the leadership moment, the aha moment for a leader is when you look in the mirror and say, you know what? If I was really going to go after the person who has impeded my progress the most in this lifetime, I'd really be having a hard time getting myself to kick my own rear end. We get in our own way, and we've got to stop it. You can do it with your thoughts, and you do it with your actions. The thing is that I haven't watched TV in years, and it's just amazing. There was one time, Gloria, here in Florida, where all the gas lines were lining up around here. There was a hurricane coming in, and I asked somebody, why is everybody at the gas stations? Is it really cheap gas? Is there a sale? And they said, no, there's a hurricane on the way. And I had to laugh, and I said, gee, I don't watch TV. I didn't even realize it. But if something big enough is happening, you'll find out, even without the television. But it's funny because, people have a hard time even relating to me when I tell them I don't watch television, because everything they want to talk about has to do with television. The average person watches 10 to 12 hours a week in this country. The average bill is about $80 to $100. What does it take to build a six-figure income in this business? 8 to 10 hours a week, $100 a month auto ship. You do the math, folks. I don't want to watch American Idol. I want to go sit front seat next year at American Idol after I've established a $30,000, $40,000 monthly income. You want to go to the Super Bowl? You want to play fantasy football? Instead of wasting your time, get to work in this business. You have front seat at the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl next year. Let's take our passions and our loves and our hobbies and make them goals for achievement. Okay. And the other thing is, listen, we got to stop putting poison in our body. White sugars, processed fake sugars, fake butters and margarines, and all the junk that is made in a lab that's full of chemicals and one molecule removed from plastic. Stop putting it in your body. You're playing the sugar game, and then you wear the patch, and you take one shot of OPC, and you wonder why you're not achieving your goals, folks. If man made it and it came from a box and a bag and it's full of chemicals and neurotoxins, stop putting it in your body. I'm amazed at how many people in this business, Gloria, that don't start their day with the shot of the greens and the OPC and the Is Life and the Aloe Red. Mm-hmm. Every day I get a question and say, what would you do for allergies? What would you do for arthritis? What would you do for diabetes? Les, what would you recommend? And, of course, none of our products are intended to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any disease. But the reality is, when you get on that 4-combo drink, the body doesn't heal itself selectively. I couldn't approach those combination of wonderful nutrients and say, I've got gout, arthritis, and cancer. I could live with the other two, but I got to get rid of the cancer. The body doesn't selectively heal itself. You put this kind of healing nutrients in you, amazing things happen. You change your pH to the low 7s, you get your alkalinity right, you get your gut right, your bowel moving correctly, you feed your cells with real nutrition. Those greens, folks, those are the highest quality food that you will ever put in your body in your lifetime. Period. End of statement. I still get questions from people. Is it okay to give to kids? I mean, it really blows my mind. Is spinach bad for children? I mean, those greens are powerful. Commit to 90 days of a physical transformation. And people say, I just don't have the time to work out. That's another excuse, which is a well-planned lie. Take the time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to get your body in shape. Create a story. Do you think if you drop 14 pounds of belly fat, you'd have a better story? Do you think if you drop 4 pant sizes like Stacy Buzeko did, that you'd have an easier time retailing and attracting people to this business? Create a real story. Do a 90-day transformation where you stop the poison from coming into your body and your mind, and then conversely, get your goal statements up. Get your goal statements up around your house. What do you want out of this business? If you're wondering, Les, why did it take you so long to step into a leadership role? I made a decision, as you know, Gloria, in November to put my head down and really start to work this business. Mm-hmm. I've tripled my income from using this philosophy that I'm sharing with you guys tonight. I've tripled my income, and that's probably going to happen, double at least, over the next 90 days again. So when you get serious and you become a leadership mindset, a team comes and evolves. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see, Les, my people don't come to convention. Les, my people aren't on this conference call. I sure wish they were. Les, my people won't drive an hour to go to a convention, and I met somebody that flew from around the country. Then you don't have the right people. Then you need to go find new people. If you're meeting somebody more than halfway and carrying them on your back, That's not what leaders do. Leaders empower. Leaders meet people halfway. Leaders match the efforts of the people they're working with, or they go find somebody who wants it as bad as they do. You know, and that's why the leaders clicked in this company, because we were all in the same mindset. Professional, serious, let's get to work, goal-oriented. I've got goals on my bathroom mirror. I've got pictures of the house that I want. We do this as a family. And get your kids involved. This is a powerful thing. Where do you want your grades to be at the end of school this year, honey? Guys, get with your spouses. What is your dream car? What color is it? What kind of rims do you want? Get specific. This stuff is so old school, but it works. It starts to get into your mind, and all of a sudden you get a distributor who says, Les, I want to quit because the shipping's too expensive. And you say, okay, well, that's your choice. We're all independent distributors here. And you look at your goal statement and you read your daily affirmations, and it slides off your back like a water on a brand new wax car. It's nothing. That's what leaders do, is you keep your head high, and so you can get, when the water rises, you're still breathing. That's the key to knowing you're committed to your goals. And so those are very important principles. Now, the other thing we talk about as leaders all the time is your rituals. It's not where you are from. It's not your business resume. It's not your biography. It's your rituals that will determine where you're going next week, next month, next year. You know, a lot of people don't even know what I'm talking about when I get into goal setting, and they're wandering. They're a wandering generality. If you want to be a leader, you have to be a meaningful, specific. The most dangerous people around our society are the ones that are walking around with no destination. You get pulled over by a policeman, the first thing they ask you is, where are you coming from? Where are you going? You don't have an answer for that for life. Life doesn't care how bad you want something. Life doesn't care how unlucky you've been. If you don't have a destination in mind, can you imagine the people that climbed all the way to the top of Mount Everest the first time, Sir Edmund Hillary, and he said, how'd you get there? Well, I don't know. I was just out walking around. If you don't have a destination in mind, how could you possibly expect to hit a target you don't see, that you don't have? So those are very important. So rituals. What are your rituals? Well, you better be inviting 5 people a day, 6 days a week. I'm a big believer in taking a day off, Sunday. Unwind, unplug, turn your phone off, stay with your family, do the things that you love, work on your goal statements, take a day off, but 6 days a week, invite 5 people a day to look at our products or our business or both, and get into a rhythm. It takes 21 days to establish a habit. Okay, it takes about 50 to establish a ritual. 50 days into this 90-day challenge, you won't feel right without inviting 5 people a day to look at your business. It doesn't matter if they say yes or no. We're sorting through the deck and we're looking for queens, kings, and aces. Doesn't matter. You just get into the rhythm. 5 people a day. 5 people a day. I know Karen and her group like to move 5 pennies from the left pocket to the right pocket, and they know when they've done that, they're done for the day. You will achieve, this is very conservative, I say it'll be 3. You'll achieve 2 advances in the pay plan. If you're a 3-star bronze, you'll go to a 4-star silver. And also, here's what you do. One of your daily rituals is to communicate with 2 of your leaders minimum in your group every single day. Fortunes are made between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. in this business. Everybody worked hard. Everybody got up at 5 a.m. Everybody had to get the kids off to school. Why is it that some network marketers find a little bit of extra gas in the tank between 7 and 10 to call 2 leaders every single day and say, how can I help you? How can I be of service? This is an amazing human trait that is missing, and we need it. How can I be of service? How can I help you? I hear that from my upline in this business because I'm blessed. I pass it down because that's the way I've been taught. That's our culture of this business. How can I help you? Are you ready to do a meeting? Let's schedule it now. In fact, let's schedule 2 for the people who can't make the first one. Are you ready to make a commitment? I'll see you in Atlanta at the XIP event at the end of April. Atlanta's an easy place to get to. Most people can get a direct flight, no excuses. Let's get to Atlanta. Let's get you trained. I'll introduce you to 50 people that aren't half as talented and half of the background and professionalism that you have. Isn't it amazing? When you go to a big event in Xperia and you meet somebody who's making $10,000 or $15,000 a month like me, and you realize I'm not even close to the sharpest tool in the shed, and I've done this wrong so many times, I ought to have been thrown out, but this is such a forgiving industry, and leadership is such a forgiving position that you can continue to get knocked down and get up again and again and again, and finally you've achieved what you set out to achieve. It doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter how many times you've been knocked down in this life. What matters at the end of the day is how many times that you get up and you keep going. And I'll tell you what, folks, when you establish that kind of attitude and you establish those kind of daily rituals, you'll look up on your left team and your right team, and you're going to find people that share that commitment. You're going to have people that have that same kind of passion. You're going to have the people that are outworking you, and if you're lucky, you're going to get inspired by the people in your business like I have, and that's come back to me tenfold. So those are some of the key points of leadership that I wanted to share tonight, Gloria. And the other thing is, we have a very special, unique business model. It's been said that all you have to do as a great salesperson or business development person or CEO is help enough other people get what they want, and you automatically achieve it. It's never been more true because of our business plan and the way it's set up. It's just amazing. And I think, every time I meet a millionaire, they smile a lot. I realize that they smile a lot, and they've mastered the fundamentals. They're not rotten. They're green, and they're growing. They're interested in new ideas. They're ready to change. They're flexible. They embrace change. Network marketing might be something new for you. Guess what? It was for a lot of us. A doctor has to make his first incision. You will have to embrace your first leadership role in this company, just like an attorney has to try his very first case. Those are the realities of it, folks, and it doesn't get any easier. You just get better, and that's the truth. So, Gloria, did I miss anything?